everyone, we're back with Straight from the Paws. Today I have a guest with me that's going to tell us a little bit about her background and everything that she's done in working with animals. And this is Shelley from New Bedford Animal Control. Hi, Shelley.
Hi.
How's it going?
It's going.
It's going. So Shelley has been working with animal control for a while now, but she has an extensive background working in different places. So this is one of the shows that we just like to, present some different people and see how they've gotten involved with animals. And everybody says, well, gee, how do I become an animal control officer? Things have changed along the way. There's a lot more out there now, but in the past, and I know people that have just come on in Fall River Animal Control, that just joined them and how they get involved in it and what the courses they have to take and whatever they have to do. So Shelley's going to begin by telling us, tell us a little bit about when you started getting involved just working in general with animals.
Since I was a small child, we've always had, in the backyard, we've had ducks, geese, rabbits, dogs, all throughout growing up.
Wow.
So it was like our own little mini farm type in the backyard, just the smaller, not the cows or anything like that. Mm-hmm. But then from there, I went to Bristol County Agricultural High School.
Great place.
Awesome place. Great 4 years.
Yep.
I recommend it to anybody who doesn't like to get stuck in a classroom. I took their animal science program. I was also worked up there on the dairy farm.
Nice.
So I got experience with milking cows, learning how to make ice cream, pasteurizing milk, all of that stuff, working with the horses, the pigs, and stuff like that, and going from there. And then from there, I actually started getting involved in the medical part of it. So I ended up learning to be, took some classes.
Mm-hmm.
After I graduated high school. I didn't go to college. I know now it's a big thing.
Right,
Everybody needs to go to college and need all kinds of more stuff than they did when I went to school. But I took some classes. I became a certified animal surgical technician.
Okay.
So therefore I could do I was in the surgery room helping the animals, getting better, doing that type of stuff. And, in the vet tech aspect of it, working in local animal hospitals and stuff like that. And from there, I worked at Buttonwood Zoo.
Okay, so let's stop for a minute. So how did you like the transition from more of the farm animals? I know Bristol Aggie is all hands-on, like you said before, and I think it's a great program. When I was working at the high school, I used to bring kids over to see Aggie that were interested in that type
Mm-hmm.
of concept, and I really love the program that they've had there. I've worked a lot with Bristol Aggie, and I know that they do a lot. And they go on to college, but you don't necessarily always have to do that, and
Right.
I get that aspect of it. So then you went and worked on the surgical aspect. How did that work for you?
It was great. I love it.
You like the transition
I
over
loved
to that?
I loved it. I've always wanted to help animals and do different things, and I got into all of that. It was great. I mean, it was a nice transition for me anyway,
Okay.
because from taking care of them, from cleaning up after them, to actually helping them if they were sick and getting better and watching the progress of them get better, to me, that's enjoyable.
That's great, because a lot of people will say to me, like I've done a lot of presentations like at high schools and so on, and when we could do that before COVID,
Mm-hmm.
and part of the thing is the kids will say, well, I don't think I could do that because I don't want to see have to see a sick animal put down, even if the veterinarian does it, and if animals really hurt, I don't know if I could help them. So I think you have to have a certain kind of personality to be able to withstand that and be able to handle it. I mean, obviously you're not an unemotional person. You have, you're one of those kind of emotional type people, so you understand that. But you looked at it as saying, I'm really helping this animal.
Right.
And that was easier.
If the decision was made that the animal had to put down, because we tried everything
Right.
possible, and it's happened, and the animal needs to be put to sleep, I look at it as the animal is in a happy place. It's not suffering anymore. We've tried everything that could possibly be tried to help this animal, and I always say that it went to a happy place.
I like that. I think that's a great philosophy, a great way to look at it. Now you're on to Buttonwood Zoo.
Right. I went to Buttonwood Zoo. I was there for 16 and a half years.
16?
Yes.
Wow, I didn't realize that. Okay.
I was there from 16 and a half years. I started off in one area of the zoo, because the zoo is broken down in different areas. So I started working with the bears, the otters, the beavers, the eagles, and the coyotes. And I was there for like, I don't know, 3 or 4 months. I was asked if I wanted to be an elephant keeper. And I said yes. I was like, yes, not a problem. You know, I want to move forward into my career of different animals, different things. I trained to be an elephant keeper, which takes a while. It's a process to be, you know, doing things with them and then being into the, you know, becoming an elephant keeper.
Where did you do that? At the zoo?
At the zoo.
Okay.
I worked with Emily and Ruth. Okay. Emily's been there forever. I grew up with Emily. A lot of people in the area grew up with Emily.
Those names, yep.
And Ruth grew up, you know, and it was nice. It was like I knew them as a kid, grew up with them, and then I was taking care of them, and it was awesome.
That's right. That's great.
And because I was involved being like a vet tech and had the medical background, I was also able to help in the hospital area at the zoo too. And then eventually I cross-trained throughout the zoo, so I still had my main part of area where I, you know, took care of, but I also could fill in anywhere else in the zoo we needed if someone called out sick or anything. So I got to work with the mountain lions and the bobcats, and I also got to work with, you know, the horses and the cows, and, you know, and rotate throughout the zoo at any time, you know. Which was nice. It was nice to be. And the zoo also usually tries to get everybody cross-trained as much as possible. In case, you know, they're short-staffed one day or whatever, there's always someone to fill in different areas.
Well, I like monkeys, so did you get to work with the monkeys there?
I did for a very short period of time.
Darn.
Because that's kind of when I was leaving, and I got to see them in the clinic area, which the hospital area when they were in quarantine. I got to see them in there. I, you know, made their diets and stuff. I even helped with making diets for a lot of the animals at the zoo, trying to figure out, you know, what's nutritionally sound for them, and so that way they could, you know, make sure they're on a healthy diet. I used to order the food, you know, and try to figure out if we couldn't get this, what was complementary to that, so they still got the nutrition that they needed. And I worked with the veterinarians, so that way we could always make sure that we had everything needed for the animals throughout the zoo and their diets.
Wow. Okay, so you sounded like you were just getting ready to stop talking a little bit about the zoo, but I'm pretty interested in the zoo.
We can keep going. It's fine.
So let's talk a little bit more about the zoo. So, like I know, like in the winter months and all that, you obviously have to be there and take care of the animals and work with them.
The zoo's open year round. It's only closed on Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so, and a lot of the animals, I know the zoo's going through transition right now as far as bringing in other animals from other, like, continents and stuff, and having different things with the monkeys and stuff. But when I started at the zoo, 98% of the zoo was North American animals that could be out in this weather. I say 98% because the other 2% was Emily and Ruth, and they're Asian elephants, and so, but they still go out in, you know, the weather. You know, I've made snowmen for them to go and outside and destroy the snowman for the elephants. I mean, you spend 10, 15 minutes making a snowman. It looks great. Emily and Ruth would come out. They get excited and they go, there goes snowman. But they enjoyed it, and it's worth it.
Okay, all right. So I was wondering about the weather and how that affects them. Okay, so now, after 16 and a half years, you've decided to move on to...
I decided to move on. Things in my personal life were changing, so I needed to provide for myself and my children. So this opportunity came up, and I filled out the application, went through the interview process, and got the job as an animal control officer in New Bedford.
Now, how many years have you been working there?
A little over 3.
Okay, all right, so over 3 years. I remember when you started, but everything is a blur for me when it comes to numbers. I feel like you've always been around. So, and so let's talk a little bit about, you got hired, that's great, you worked through the police department in New Bedford.
Yep.
But you also have to work with Manny Maceo as your supervisor.
Yep.
How was that? Let's get Manny here a little bit. What kind of secrets can you tell us about Manny?
I wouldn't say there's secrets. I mean, he's a great boss. If I have a problem, I can go to him. I can speak freely. I don't have to, you know, like tiptoe around the point I'm trying to make. If I'm upset that day, and if I want to, you know, take the filter off and just let it out, I can do that, you know, which is nice. Not many bosses actually let you do such a thing. I had a couple bosses at the zoo that I could do that to. I had a couple bosses I couldn't do that to. You know, so I had that feel of when I can, when I can't, and
Sure.
who you can and who you can't, that type of thing. And with Manny, I can do that. You know, we work it out, we talk about it, and we move forward.
All right, so how much did he pay you to say all that?
Nothing.
Okay. I'm only kidding, folks. I really do believe that. I know Manny's a great boss. I love working with Manny. Since we've been in this building, which is 17 years now, in this next February, it'll be 17 years, and Manny's been with us before we even got the Fulver contract. Yeah, he is a great guy. I will admit it, he's a great guy. Now, you work in a department of 3,
Yep.
and you're the only female.
Yep.
So I would assume, knowing both Brandon and Manny, that it's not one of those things where you have the role of you have to clean the dishes or you have to do anything like that. They all chip in.
Yes.
Is that true?
We all chip in, we all work together.
Okay, so what's a typical week for you?
It's crazy sometimes. I mean, the summer months we're very busy. You know, call volume is up high. You know, people are outside seeing things, this and that. Although with COVID, people are home. People are seeing things that, you know, probably been going on forever, and they're calling now because, you know, they're concerned. You know, there's probably the dog's been outside, goes outside a couple hours every day, and now that someone's home, oh my God, the dog's outside for a couple hours every day, and what's going on? They never bring it in, and it's something that's routine that they've been doing for the dog's whole life. It's just that now that people are home, they're seeing different things that are going on. I mean, I can say with this job too, I've learned that not everybody loves their animal like, you know, the same. You know, some people bring their animal in the house and it sleeps with them in bed. It's on the couch with them. Some people, the dog goes outside, it has a kennel that's heated and everything for them. The dog only comes in when it's inclement weather and the dog can't be outside, and it has a space in the basement. Everybody is different on how they love and take care of their pets. And as my job is to make sure that the dog, you know, or the cat is being taken care of properly, and it is, but some people, when they call our office, don't understand that just because they don't take it to bed to sleep with them, they're still doing right by that animal.
Yeah, I understand that, because we get the same kind of calls here complaining about, you know, I sent animal control and they didn't do anything about it, what can you do? And, you know, I get that. So what's like, tell me one of the oddest or unique animal that you've ever dealt with in the city.
Unique. Well, there was a horse in the city.
Okay.
There was a pony. I got the call. Someone told me that there was a horse in someone's backyard, and I was like, no way. This can't be. And I'm like, you know, and I went there, and there was a pony in someone's backyard. And then we had to explain to them that there's no hoof stock allowed in the city, and that we need to find a home for this animal to be, because it can't be in the city. You know, it's just not allowed.
Okay. How did that go?
Well, you know, it went okay. You know,
I mean, because they think they just got a new pet, and now they have to get rid of it.
People are going to get upset at it, but they, you know, you work with them. They understand. You know, you get to explain it all to them so they can understand what's going on, and you know, and go from there.
Okay,
know?
so.
I mean, I've caught a goat in the city too. I've chased it down the street and into someone's yard.
Okay. All right. So what's one of the most, let's take a look at the other opposite end. What's like one of the most dangerous things that you've done on this job?
Oh, we do drug raids.
You do drug raid, okay.
So in narcotics, there's dogs in the house, and you know, there's a dog at the door. The narcotics team will call us in, and we go first, and they're behind us.
Great.
Because we need to move the dog off the door.
Okay. So you go in, you guys have to go in first. Now,
Yeah.
when you do that, do you usually take, I know that's usually one of you on, do you take 2 of you on? Like, well,
If there's 2 of us, we'll take 2 of us on. There was one that all 3 of us had gone on. We, you know, you wear your vest and everything. You're with, you know, the entire, you know, team, and you go.
what about hoarding? Do you see a lot of hoarding cases?
We do see hoarding cases. I've been in a few hoarding houses and cases where I've had to literally climb on top of their stuff to get through into the house. We set traps. There was, I forgot exactly how many cats were in the house, but we were there for a few days trapping cats. And when we walked into the house, we saw 2 cats. That's
Wow.
all we could see was 2, because the house was, hoarded, cluttered, everything between garbage and brand new stuff that had never been opened. Cleaning supplies everywhere, but they didn't, wasn't being used.
Sure.
Instead of changing the litter box, they bought a new litter box and put fresh litter in it. So that type of stuff, and that's how we knew there were cats in there, because there was a bunch of litter boxes, dirty and clean ones, throughout the whole house. We climbed over things, set traps, and we were there for days. I want to say we took over 10 cats out of that house.
Wow.
But like I said, when we walked in, we saw 2.
Then you had to find the others.
And we had to set traps to find the others, because you couldn't even see them. There was like no real paths to walk in some of the rooms.
And I suppose, but were the people still living in the home? Was someone still there?
Yes.
Oh, that must be very devastating,
Yeah.
For you, for them, for the animals, I can't even imagine how that so you have a lot of aspect of your house. Then you also do a lot of other things too, like I know that you help Manny with his, what is that, the coalition group?
Yeah,
you work with that?
We help with the coalition, we talk to people, they do fundraisers and help people get their pets spayed and neutered and stuff like that. We try to do what we can to help people. We also drop food off.
Well, I was going to say we partnerships with you a couple of times and dropped some stuff off at some housing authority and places.
We did housing authority. We did elderly housings too. We had people who called us and stuff to that they needed food and they couldn't get out of the house, especially in the beginning of COVID where nobody wanted to leave the house.
Great. Well, I know we're running out of time. I told you it was going to be really quick. I just want to put a quick in. We've a tree behind you, and we've got some really nice ornaments on it that our board of director Cheryl first made for us, and we're going to be doing a giving tree. So look on our website and you'll find the giving tree available up there and running, and people can understand how they're going to do that. I want to thank you for coming in.
You're welcome.
I told you it was going to be painless and it was going to be a lot of fun. Thank you very much.